All right, peace and blessings to everybody. So, I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about spiritual work and living the spiritual lifestyle. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the importance of keeping things sacred when you're doing your spiritual work. Now, I didn't use the word a secret because to me, a secret sounds like you're trying to hide something. And keeping it sacred is not because you're trying to hide something, not because you're doing something wrong or something immoral. It's because when you keep something sacred, you keep it to yourself out of respect for the work that you're doing. Why do you need to keep things sacred? Well, first and foremost, everybody is not in agreement with what it is that you want to manifest or what you're doing. It could be that certain people that you may share things with may have issue with you doing spiritual work, doing rituals, doing spells, or it could be something a little bit deeper. It could be that that person, for whatever reason, is harboring some type of envy, jealousy, or anger towards you. And sharing every step you take and everything you do will work against you. I talk to a lot of people over the years and I do a lot of readings. And one of the things that come up a lot in people's readings is evil eye. An evil eye is basically when somebody holds envy, jealousy, or some kind of malice and they direct that energy to you through the eyes. Okay, people can also speak against you, so sometimes people have to pay attention. Just think about how, and I used to have a friend like this. Let me just give you an example. And this was not when I would do spiritual work. But let's just say, for instance, something good happened to me. Let's just say, for instance, I met someone or someone gave me something. And as an empath, I can always feel, people's true intentions. So, you tell your friend you want to share with them, just like they share things with you, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? And so I would share things with this particular person. And I always could sense that she harbored some type of ill feeling. And sometimes some of those things you share, I would share something with her and then immediately something would go wrong with whatever it was that I had manifest. Let's just say a car. And I call her and say, oh, I got me a new car. And this thing, I got into an accident. The car is breaking down. I got flat tires. And you're wondering like, oh my God, why is things going wrong? Sometimes people are harboring envy, jealousy, hatred, or resentment. And that energy can begin to block the manifestation of what you're doing. Another thing that I always tell people, and I share this with my children too, when you start manifesting things, when you get favor, don't talk about it. Let's just say, for instance, you work somewhere and you do a ritual or a spell to get a promotion, or you do a ritual or a spell so that you stay employed there. Don't start talking about it with people. Don't start telling people, oh, I did a spell and this is why I got this job, or I did this ritual and this is why I'm still there, or this is why I got the promotion. You need to keep things to yourself on this path. Listen to me. I have been on this spiritual journey, this spiritual path, doing work and studying for over 20 years, for about 25 years, almost 26 years at this point, okay? So I have learned a lot of lessons, okay? And most of the best things you're going to learn is from experience. Keep shit to yourself. I know we want to share with the people that we love. You're happy, you're excited, even the bad things. Start keeping things to yourself, okay? When you manifest, keep it to yourself. You don't have to share it with the whole world. You ain't got to let everybody know, oh, I did this spell and I got a $50,000 check, and then you wonder why your money started drying up, or why bills and stuff and collectors start coming and collect your money. Spirit wants me to tell you to keep this sacred, okay? If you share something with someone, let it be a practitioner that you're working with, or if you're coming to someone and you're getting readings and you have a mentor or a teacher, someone that understands this work and someone who's helping you to manifest and do that work. Share with them, but keep things to yourself, okay? Another thing that I have noticed a lot with spiritual work and this spiritual lifestyle is that people want to dabble. Dabblers often get themselves into trouble that they themselves do not know how to rectify, okay? dabbling here, doing a little bit there, and not taking it seriously. If you're not going to take it seriously, if you're not going to be consistent, if you're not going to study, you'd be better off not touching it, leaving it alone, okay? Too many people want to play around with spells and rituals, and they want to do things when they're mad and angry, and they want to dabble and play, and then they get themselves into trouble. And I've met those people. Those people have come to me and want spell work, and they want me to wave a magic wand and fix everything. And sometimes you get yourself into so much trouble, it can be hard to get yourself out of it, okay? And if you do, and if someone helps you, it could be quite expensive at that, okay? Another issue that I have noticed with people in this spiritual work, consistency. Okay, we are energy beings. Okay, we generate energy, we transmute energy, we lose energy. Just like your car works off of energy, right? Your car has to have a battery, it has to have fuel. What would happen if you drove your car and never put gas in it, never rotated your tires, never got an oil change, never put oil in it, didn't recharge your battery? It would stop running, it would stop working. The same thing happens to you spiritually, on a spiritual level, when you're not consistent in your work. I meet people who either do work themselves or hire someone to do work, get results, but are not consistent in the work. And what will happen is, over time, that energy will dissipate because it is energy and it does wane, just like the moon waxes and wanes. And then you find yourself back in the same situation. You have to be consistent with your spiritual work, especially things like, let's just say, for instance, you're someone who has been dealing with a lot of spiritual attacks. You have to be consistent with protecting yourself, with making sure to cleanse yourself and uncross yourself on a regular basis. Let's just say you live a lifestyle that exposes you to a lot of people's energy. Maybe you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you could be a teacher, working with a lot of different people and different energies, especially if you work in a profession where there's a lot of sick people, or people with a lot of issues, with a lot of conflict. Maybe you're an attorney or a lawyer and you deal with people who have a lot of conflict, where you're engaging them on an energetic level, on a mental level as you're working with them. Then you don't know what other people in your profession are doing to get ahead, to get clients to promote themselves. People are doing spells and rituals. People are hiring people to do spells and rituals. And some people are unscrupulous. Sometimes if you're being successful and you're doing well in your career, people will evil eye you. People will curse you with their tongues by speaking negatively upon you and about you. And if you're not consistent with protecting yourself, if you're not consistent with cleansing yourself and doing the necessary things to maintain what you have and what you manifest, you'll quickly realize there'll be a reversionary period. I meet people who want to take long breaks and doing work for themselves, and then they want to know why their lives are in chaos, why they feel totally depressed and overwhelmed. It's because you weren't consistent in your work. You must be consistent in what you do. And you don't have to go out here doing these big theatrical, rituals and spells. Some of the most powerful rituals that I have ever done are simple, because the biggest and most important thing is the energy that you put into your spells and the rituals, your own clarity and mental state, your own ability to manifest from your own energy and your own power. So your intentions are the most important part of any ritual. You can do very powerful workings with very minimal tools. It's about the energy and intention that you put into it. Same thing with working with deity and working with spirits, okay? The stronger and more consistent you are in venerating them and giving them offerings and connecting with them, the stronger your rapport and your power will be, the more powerfully they will work for you. That's just like a person. Let's just say, for instance, you had a friend that only came to you when they needed something. You never saw them until they wanted something. They always asking for something. After a while, you get tired of that person. Well, so does spirit. When you're working with deity and spirit, it is an exchange of energy. We must give something to receive something. If you do not give to the spirits and the energies, offerings, ebos, whatever you call them, you will put yourself into a deficit. You do not want to be in a spiritual deficit with a spirit, okay, that has worked for you and manifest for you, and you have not paid that spirit. This is why I give offerings. When I work with any deity or spirit, I have to give them offerings. And not just when I want something. I develop a relationship with that spirit, where on a regular basis, I am connecting with that spirit. I am venerating and honoring that spirit. on a regular and consistent basis. This is how I am able to then get those deities to not only do work for myself, but to do work for my clients, because I have established a relationship, a rapport, and maintain a healthy and positive relationship with that deity and with that spirit. Okay. You can't just come to these spirits when you want something, when you need something, and then thinking that they're going to be there for you. Okay. Doesn't work that way, honey. And then some people want to blame it on the magic, blame it on the code, or this don't work, or that don't work, or this spirit ain't real, or that spirit don't work. No, they're not working for you because you're not honoring and respecting that spirit. You're not building a rapport with that energy, and you're not paying them. You can't go to the store and go get eggs and go get food without paying, right? Well, you can't go and get things from these deities and these spirits without what? Paying, giving, offering, okay, to that spirit, and building a relationship and a rapport with that deity or that spirit, okay? Y'all, we got to get it together. It's 2025, so it's time out for playing around with these spirits, playing around with magic, playing around with the occult can get you a ass whooping. And some of these people, let's be honest, they get unalived playing around with deity. I know you guys have probably seen the story about the woman that summons Papa Legba wanting to curse someone, and he killed her. Yeah, that's what happened. Play around with the wrong spirit. See what happened to you. Call on Papa Legba or issue one of these spirits for some foolishness and fuckery and see what they do to you. Okay? See how your life can go from sugar to shit, or go from shit to hell. Okay? So don't play around with this stuff. If you're not going to be serious, if you're not going to be consistent, if you're not going to be respectful of the spirits and the entities and the deities that you work with, don't even touch it. Don't even go back to organized religion and be a sheeple. Okay, and wait for another incarnation until you're ready. But Spirit wanted me to give this message to somebody today, because somebody might be cruising for a bruising. Okay, this is why when you come to me, I'm not cheap. Oh no, baby. I have been through a plethora, many spiritual attacks. Okay, I have fallen and busted my ass spiritually and picked myself back up many times. This is how I got my power. This is how I obtained my knowledge and wisdom. And this is how I developed my skills. So if you want me to risk myself, risk my energy, risk my livelihood, even my life, breaking curses, protecting yourself, banishing entities and deities, baby, you got to pay me. Okay? My life is valuable. My ancestors love me. My children need me. My life has value. So if I'm going to risk myself, and baby, believe me, because the majority of work that I do is surrounding the things that I just mentioned: protecting people, breaking spells and curses, banishing deities, doing healing work, and resolving fucked up situations with people. When people have a juggernaut of fuckery going on in their lives, they come to me to figure all that shit out. Okay. But this is where I make the biggest impact spiritually. Yes, I do love work here and there. And believe me, I don't do a lot of love work, because a lot of the shit that people doing as love work is more about domination, control, manipulation. I don't play that. And I do a lot of legal work as well. People, you get yourself into a legal jam, a legal problem, I'm the girl to come to. But all of that is very invasive, very potentially dangerous work to do. Okay. And it comes with a lot of consequences sometimes. I take it on. When I do your work, whatever's fighting you, guess what happens? It starts fighting me too. And you're not the only client that I've taken on. I have other people that I'm also doing spells and rituals for. So I have to protect myself. I have to make it worth my while in order to do these rituals and do these spells and do these things to help you out. Okay. So I'm not going to be cheap. Okay. You get what you pay for in this lifetime. Believe me, I know. And I'm a person myself personally. I like quality. I don't mind paying money and paying extra money to get good quality. It doesn't have to be expensive, but some people just want things because it's expensive and they're this ego thing. That's not it with me. I like quality. And I'll pay for it. I never go to somebody and ask them, hey, give me such and such off of this. I'm going to pay you what your price is, okay? Because I respect your work. I respect the product that you're offering. And I'm going to pay you valuable consideration for that thing, okay? Same thing over here. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Peace.